Over a year ago, I taught you the basic stuff you need to start making stop motion animations. This time, we finally get to the fun part, making stuff move. So, welcome to a beginner's guide to stop motion. Stop motion isn't as simple as take a picture, move, and repeat. Stop motion still falls under the umbrella of animation, so you have to learn the fundamentals first. Before you start doing this, let's keep things simple. Let's start with a coin. You can follow along with me if you want. Grab anything small with no articulation to start animating with. Got it? Let's begin. There are two misconceptions beginners have with stop motion. One, in animation, more frames equals smoother end product. And two, FPS is correlated or is just equal to speed. This results with stop motion animators having glaring issues with spacing and timing. These two concepts I'm about to teach you actually debunks both misconceptions. So let's start with the first. Spacing. Have a look between these two animations. Which do you reckon is smoother? 1 or 2? A lot of you will probably say 2, which is all thanks to spacing. Spacing is the distance between two or more frames, like the literal space in between each frame, hence the name. Let's say I want to go from point A to point B in a steady pace. If you want to do that, you should space the frames out equally apart from each other. This equal spacing achieves a steady movement. But what if I want to go faster? Then you should space it farther apart from each other. Basically, you're going to be using less frames. This big spacing achieves a quick movement. But I kind of want to slow down now. So if big spacing make stuff go meow. What makes things go slow? That's right. You should space the frames close together. And voila! We made things move. Yippee! Yaha! Yippee! This is what proper spacing helps you achieve. Speed. But something doesn't feel right. Have you ever seen stuff just go fast or go slow this abrupt? For example, watch this car. Okay, watch it again. There! Do you catch it? See how it didn't just go fast? What we are lacking in this animation is the concept of acceleration and deceleration. In real life, you don't just see stuff go abruptly fast and abruptly stop. You see it accelerate and decelerate. Cars being the best example of this. So how do we apply what we learned about spacing to these animations? If we use the basic idea of acceleration and deceleration, how should you go about animating it? If slow is frames close together, while fast frames are far apart, what should acceleration look like? Since acceleration is slow to fast, you should start with the frames close together as they gradually go further and further apart. Meanwhile, deceleration is fast to slow, basically the reverse technique of acceleration. The frames will slowly go closer and closer together till it basically stops. See how such a simple addition brings so much more to this animation. Applying this will greatly increase the quality of your animations. A good example of this improvement are the animations my dad made. He went from having animations as janky as this into this once he applied the concept of spacing alongside acceleration and deceleration. You can even have decent animation by just toying around with acceleration and deceleration alone. Sonic is the best example by using his super speed. These animations that's relying on acceleration and deceleration alone is still pretty smooth. This can apply to most situations, not only just with super speed. Now that we understand spacing, let's tackle timing. But before I do that, let me talk about the sponsor of this video. You guys. By becoming a member and a Patreon, you'll not only support this channel, but also get these amazing perks, such as 1 week early access to long form videos, member shoutouts, priority reply to comments, members only polls, and exclusive announcements for future long form videos. Honestly, guys, I couldn't have done all of this without you, and I want to keep bringing high quality content for you guys to enjoy, and I can't do that without your help. So become a member and join the Patreon today. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. And if you join now, there could be a surprise waiting just for you. So please, become a member and join the Patreon. Timing is really simple to understand once you have a grasp on the concept of spacing. Timing, to put it simply, is all about calculating how many frames you need for the duration or the length of your animation. This greatly depends on your FPS of choice. Actually, can we have just a quick little tangent?
FPS is not equal to speed.
It's already in the acronym. FPS stands for frames per second. This quite literally means how many frames are just played in a single second. This setting is purely based on your preference, by the way. It doesn't affect how smooth your animations are. You can pretty much make smooth animations with whatever FPS you set it to. What it does help with, in my opinion, is on how easily you can animate. 16 FPS is the sweet spot for me. You know, it's what I animate with personally, but it differs from person to person. Well, if you don't know which FPS you prefer yet, all you have to do is base it on how much free time you have in your hands for stop motion. 8 FPS if you only have under an hour or so. 16 if you have 1 to 4 hours, you know, pretty average amount of time. 24 if you have like half a day's worth of time, and 30 if you have all the time in the world. Like, wow. But for stylistic purposes, I highly recommend 16 FPS. It can achieve smooth animations while still having a stop motion feel to it. It's what I personally use. Whichever FPS you choose, it doesn't matter. The rules of animation will still apply the same way. Same goes for my tutorial. So pick whatever one you're comfortable with. Okay? Got it? Alright, back on topic. This part involves math, but don't you worry, you can pretty much do this with your calculator. Let's say I want this coin to roll off this pen and bounce a couple of times onto this makeshift grass within like 1.5 seconds. So to find out how many frames you'll need, all you have to do is multiply your chosen FPS by time. For me, it's 16 FPS, and we will multiply that with our chosen time, which is 1.5 seconds. So it's going to be which is 24, which means that sequence should take 24 frames for it to last 1.5 seconds. This will greatly help you with planning your animations out in advance. But if you noticed, these two things have one thing in common. These concepts improve how your animations feel. So from now on, while you make stop motion animation, ask yourself this question: how does this animation feel? All future tutorials will always circle back to this very question. If the animation you made truly achieves the feeling you are going for. In this case, acceleration, deceleration, spacing, and timing are tools you can use to implement the feelings of speed and weight. For example, you want things to go quick, fast, or slow, sluggish, or to make something feel light or heavy. To me, good animation is about successfully showing rather than telling, where someone can watch your animations without asking to themselves or asking you, what's this supposed to be? Animation isn't about making the most buttery smooth movement, it's about conveying a feeling that you can portray through the medium of animation. In this case, stop motion. Although smooth animation is good to look at, don't get me wrong, but If it can't portray a feeling, it's nothing but a blank canvas. Just bland. But all these things aside, don't put too much pressure on yourself. After all, this is a fun hobby. No matter what anyone says, it's how it started for me and what it always will be. So I hope this video helps you improve your animations by implementing spacing and timing. I guarantee that this will make a huge difference once you actually try and implement it with your stop motions. Believe it or not, I sometimes watch people's animations that they tag me in, and these two things I guarantee will make a huge difference once you try and practice it and actually use it. This is basically me trying to help as many people as possible and guide them to this awesome hobby, which I love doing, and if you're watching this video, I'm sure you love doing, because there is no creation without passion. If you want to put your skills to the test right now, there are actually 3 exercises I can give you. The first is practicing slow, steady, and fast one by one. 1 animation for slow, 1 animation for steady, and 1 animation for fast. Use a car or something. Next is practice acceleration and deceleration. Last but not least, do them all simultaneously. What do I mean by that? There will be 3 objects on screen. One will go accelerate into fast, the other one will be slowly decelerating to a halt, and the last one will just plainly be moving steadily. If you have any questions, comment them down below, because I will be answering them on QBA. Questions about animations. There's already a part 1 up on the channel since I make these QBA videos after every tutorial. I hope you guys learned a lot about spacing and timing from this episode. I'm really sorry this took over a year to, come out. I just didn't have a lot of time, but I got it out now. There will be an episode 3 coming out, but I cannot promise when it will come out. But you will find that on our brand new channel memberships and Patreon. So don't forget to join the Marvelous Elites on YouTube or sign up on Patreon. Till the next video, you're still here?